Hello, I am Tato Cat and welcome to my channel. Today we are playing The Letter. Previously, um, we went around with Zach, taking pictures. Hannah flirted with him a lot, and in the middle of everything, the ghost lady appeared and it was kind of strangling us, and Zach was just like, and we're like, huh, what's wrong? It feels heavy and I can't breathe, but it's normal. And then we just didn't talk about that, and then we moved on and flirted some more. And eventually he left, and now we were coming here, and something's gonna happen. We don't know what, and that is where we left off. Alright, let us continue. But that clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light, I'm getting a bit, not British. I'm getting a more Irish there, aren't I? Scottish even. Finding the light switch is a monumental task, considering the size and of my unfamiliarity with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle, and there is a distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me, and only spurs me on in my search. It says it's dark and dim and stuff, but it actually looks quite bright. Like, it looks like the chandeliers are still kind of on, and then you have all these candles, and then the moonshine. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
Is he drinking absinthe? Is that what the green stuff is? There, at the end of the hall, is my beloved husband, with his face in one hand and a glass in the other. Perhaps I can let it go, if it's only one glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go livid after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe? You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Don't bloody the car, though.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please. Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me. Helps with the hangover, dearest.
Well, you wouldn't have had a hangover if you weren't drinking.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad.
Oh, but we are
I
mad.
just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons.
You're the simpleton.
And maybe I had one too much.
Or 5.
You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hannah, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
Oh, what did we do?
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you.
What?
That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that.
We had to do an interview thing.
You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey.
Why not?
I was informed the moment your little interview was done.
We just now finished.
So, what was it then, What were you doing?
What's it going to be? Should I tell the truth or tell a little lie? We're going to tell the truth. Lying is always bad. I was with Zachary.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
Oh, Luke was not pleased with that. Screw Luke. I have no reason to tell lies. It's not like I am guilty of anything. But as Luke's expression turns, he makes me feel like I actually am to blame for something. He has a way of making me laid bare with just a look that had really struck me when we first met years ago.
That giant
her way to leave that out?
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
What are you implying?
I'm implying nothing. I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup. He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that. But all he's looking for is his next big headline.
That's not really his thing.
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning.
So's the drunkard.
He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. They were like nature, the grass and the trees, wonderful and breathtaking. Now as I look at him, they're nothing but the same shade of green as the bloody damn drink in his hand.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hannah.
Why are we to blame, huh?
No, I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke, right?
Hangover forgotten during the course of this little spat, the man jumps to his feet and seethes. It looks like he's barely stopping himself from throwing the nearest thing he can find.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want. And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes. Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the affects the both of us, however.
Can you stop saying that? I'm going to take your voice away if you keep saying that word.
Look, Luke, nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous.
Ugh.
Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Maybe you should drink more.
Maybe.
Supper is spent in silence, with nothing but the occasional sound of silverware. A grand feast has been served. Well, grander than usual anyway. Most likely due to Lou's complaints of stress. Blech. A platter of native oysters for starters, and tranche of turbot with purple sprouting broccoli, lemon, capers, and anchovy sauce for mains. To finish it all off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard. But when our appetites are appeased, and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely in the lull of the night, I sit in a house too big and too empty, worn and unwelcoming. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There's no, and I can kind of see the difference with the light being on, but still it's pretty bright before. There is no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I have faced before. This is a minor setback in what I hope will be a long and happy life. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with a renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like someone is having a cry already. The wailing is far away and muffled, yet at the same time, it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. As if the suffering is standing right beside me. She probably is just gonna pop out any second. Hearing it sends a chill down my spine. It makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Who is that? Oh, don't follow it. Don't follow the cry. October 26th. During supper, Hannah found Luke drinking absinthe. And this caused an argument. While Hannah was angered at her husband's drinking problem, Luke was suspicious of his wife's activities, having not seen her the whole afternoon despite finishing Lecture Living's interview early. Then there was this crying woman. Oh great, we're gonna have another, quick time event. Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound into the kitchen. Curiosity killed the cat. I know you're a dog person, but at least cats have 9 lives. And into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
What is with the British and saying hello in terrifying types? There was a movie where, there were zombies, and the guy just kept walking into buildings going, hello! And then, he was getting attacked by zombies. I am curious and concerned, but there is no way I'm going down into the dark in a humid underground. I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I also cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. If it is one of the household help, it will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johannes, or I who'd calm them down, who'd help them figure out how to go on about things. Unfortunately, I am not in high spirits right now, so I am not as wholly benevolent. So I will not open the hatch. We will not. I won't say. I'm tempted to. We'll call for them. We won't open the hatch. I knock 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no results, and I've already touched the floor hatch far too many times than I would like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. Don't open the hatch! I tried to tell you not to. I've learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out.
You in the cellar? Do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
With how long I'm standing here, however, I'm starting to think of myself as a fool. I did not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I tried one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
Oh no. I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest, but the touch is gone as quickly as it had seized me. It is only Johannes I see when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that. You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I was... I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I'd like to interpret it as concerned, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been concern as he takes off a glove and presses the back of his hand to my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicate of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I stare at him in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Tugging at the hatch for a good measure proves his words to be true, too. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam. You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience.
That makes me feel like it's even more normal.
But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There is a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense, and who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? I am just tired, that's it. Long day moving, the interview, dealing with Luke. That has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good night.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
And this is our room, I see. I was sleeping separately from Luke again. It is just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there's something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. October 28th, Friday. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him on his mobile is a bust, as it only goes straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me. And for him to disappear today of all days is every bit as upsetting because of what's to come. The morning is once again filled with whirlwind activity. Fortunately, I am much more refreshed as I took a break from my responsibilities. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day, although unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the party. This is our house, after all. A grand housewarming party for a wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxembourg is invited. There will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media along with friends and acquaintances who are made no less important, regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discuss business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much to change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the right mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to acquiesce. I didn't give him any choice in the matter. I even bought this wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have a little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotels instead, always at Luke's own insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up to the task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
No, I do not agree to him having the helipad.
All right then.
Why does he need a helipad?
Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his requests right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
Around? No. Where is he? Who knows? Where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I'd already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
I want nothing more than to complain, to whine about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply a taboo among high society. To do so will make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, the lot of them really. Or most of them, at least. There are always good ones like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person, and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Sure. Perhaps I'm being a bit too rash, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. But I thought myself clever with the plan to dress it up as gossip. Marianne's raised a brow makes me unsure whether she's interested or not. Although that does make things better, if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband.
So she just switched the roles, I
But
think.
it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am?
No, great, putting her in an awkward position again.
Do you want me to be honest, or...
Do I want her to be honest? I don't know. Be honest with me. Yes, be honest with me. We don't like being professionals.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it.
Real talk. Relationship. Marianne is liking us more and more.
I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee, while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on. Almost to believe that she will answer, cannot read, because the thing is in the way. Okay. The silence stretches on, but I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her, putting her in a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though I loathe to admit it. She simply wants the whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Yeah, she didn't hide it very well now, did she? It's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. And to get to the heart of the matter? I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or is it really that bad that an outsider can see our little marital problems? Surely, we aren't that obvious, are we? You are a bit obvious. We've put up the act of a perfect couple for years, although it hadn't always been an act. Marianne is just more keen than the average person, of course. It is a necessity to her career, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it. Yes, denial. Let's choose the more convenient thought.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else.
Yep.
Someone who won't even give him the time of the day. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself.
You tell her, Marianne.
Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
No, she's saying instead of continuously trying to make him happy, you do you. You'll need to make him happy. Make you happy.
Nothing as drastic as that. If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
She trails off having said her piece, and leaves nothing more but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There is a calm despite the nature of what has just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think is an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might not just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Otherwise, others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their coral anniversary before they passed away. I don't know what the coral anniversary is, but 7 years. 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years, well, it hasn't been entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to, anyway. I just dreamed the thought that it might last for a very long time. We shall end this episode here, and we will see what happens in the next episode. If you've already liked, comment, subscribe. I'm Tato Cat. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.